Hi, everyone. I have some friends here who might join me shortly. Today, we're going to be talking about money, inspired action, performance. Okay, great. So, what are your inspired actions, and how is your performance on those?
Hi, everyone. I have some
Wow,
friends here who
very
might join me shortly.
nice.
Today, we're going to be talking about
Very
money,
exciting.
inspired act.
Okay, so every day you live your life, what are your dreams? What are your visions? What are your possibilities? They're infinite. So, when you make a choice, you'll have an inspired action that will go with that choice. So, whatever your direction of choice is, there are going to be opportunities, there are going to be possibilities, there are going to be things you can do that will go along with that. And sometimes they're contraindicated by your addictions. Let's say that your body is, addicted to sleep or caffeine or, you know, arguing, right? Something that you're getting a kick out of. And then you have an inspired action to go on a walk. And then there's that pull to go on the walk. And you're like, okay, I'm going to go. And then you go on the walk and your life changes, right? That's following through with your inspired action. That's taking that step. That's the performance piece of the inspired action is the motor control to actually do it. It's that ability to be agile spiritually, to go from, hey, I'm doing this thing, but I'm going to do this thing that's more in integrity with my soul. So that applies every time you have an inspired action. The performance of that action would be the solution to your creativity. Your creativity has come up with this idea to get you out of the funk you're in and into the possibility you're going to. So, how do you overcome the desire not to do your inspired action? How do you, schedule it up so that you succeed? How do you stay accountable, stay responsible, stay productive, stay generative? So, all you can do there is succeed. So, you know, what would it take for you to be the energy of inspired action so that when it comes along, it's more natural to you? What would it take for you to be in that generative mode, that that state of mind, that game of mind where inspired action is natural, where you're not on wait, you're in create, where you're looking for opportunities to take inspired actions to launch into a new thing. So if you have some kind of a schedule or routine that's not based on inspired action, let's say like you you have a routine of doing things that are unhealthy for your body or it's just not something that you really chose, or it's like you chose it a long time ago and it's not relevant anymore. It might be a struggle to get out of your routine to go, hey, I'm starting a new routine, I'm starting a new schedule, I'm starting a new life at this inspired vibe where I'm taking actions in alignment with my soul, with incongruence with my being, in alignment with my choices to be the person I want to be, the person that I am, you know. So one thing is it's an identity shift to being an inspired person, being an inspired catapulter of change. You're no longer fighting for or against your inspiration. You don't have to invent motivation or momentum. You can get into the momentum of being you. I am inspiration. Um, don't wait for inspiration to hit to get in alignment with it. Get in alignment with inspiration, and when it hits, you'll be off and running. So I am inspiration. Your mantra for today: I am inspiration, and just use that until you are being it. And then when inspiration strikes and you go with it, you're like, great, it's working. You know, validation. Okay, cool. That shift occurred, and the difference. You'll know the difference because there will be a feeling difference. There will be a knowing difference, a perceiving difference. You'll be in a different state doing an inspired activity as opposed to something of drudgery or something that's not inspired. Okay, I also want to talk about the choice component, because inspiration is just your spirit being active, but that's going to be in congruence with your choices. So when you make a choice to make a change in your life, let's say I'm going to be a pro bowler, okay, the inspired actions that come up for that are going to be different than, let's say, I'm going to be the greatest relationship star of all time and have success in my relationships, or I'm going to be like the world's fastest marathon runner, or I'm going to, become a tennis career professional, and I'm going to, um, be able to get to 165 serves nailed in a row without faults. Just be able to land it. I'm going to practice until I get to that score at least once, right? It'll be like a goal, and then something like that. So it's like whatever you've set as your goal, right? Your inspiration is going to be limited to the goal outposts that you've allowed yourself to have. So if you're not happy with your goals, you can just start and create them right now. And you don't have to set a new goal necessarily, but whatever you're creating towards, if it can be more general, it can be more ambiguous than, for example, a goal. It can be more like, hey, I want to create an atmosphere of creativity. I would like to be painting and reading and drawing more. Okay. Um, then your inspiration will also be more ambiguous. It will match the energy of what you're creating. So then suddenly you might, start dancing and getting out all of your notebooks and your canvases and some pencils and paints and start painting. So that's still success, right? So you've got performance, but you also have ambiguity of creation. You can create something that is enjoyable and ambiguous. It doesn't have to be set in stone. And um, that, like, those are all different levels of success, different things that are successful. It's like, if you are not able to get in alignment with your inspiration, if you're not willing to be that I am inspiration, not choosing to be I am inspiration, then what occurs is that you fail, right? Your only other option, if you're not willing to be the activation of your spirit, to live in alignment with your goals, your choices, your creativity, your ambiguous creativity, whatever it is for you, yeah, whatever you've chosen or whatever you choose next, is to fail. So when you're not being the I am inspiration, you're being I am doubt, I am addiction, I am uncreativity. Okay, that's fine. It's a little narcissistic. um, so if you're not, inspired to be inspired, then take a nap. It's a great way to reset. A great way to get back into harmony with the earth. When you sleep, you wake up when the earth's temperature rises or changes. Your body responds to the earth's heat, and so when or the atmosphere around you, or your circadian rhythms, like a couple things your body responds to. But when you sleep, your body will wait for the earth to wake it up, um, and the earth has good timing, so it's going to put you on the right track. And the morning light, the first light of the day, I heard this today on a podcast or something I was listening to. It's like, is the light of inspiration. So wake up in the morning and let some of that morning sunlight in your eyes. Maybe look at the sun for a second or two or three. Don't look directly at it for very long. Maybe just look near it. Just let a little bit of that light in. Open up the window or whatever. Look out the window or go outside for a second. Don't stare. Yeah, don't stare down the sun for a long time. But allow that morning light to get in your eyes, and it has that healing, inspiring energy. It's a great way to start your day and start off on the I am inspiration track. So you don't have to fight against your addictions or your compulsions, right? You can actually get yourself into a state where you're already inspired. So pre-inspired, you don't have to fight out of it right now if it's too much for you. But I'm sure if you're watching this, at this point in the video, you're probably inspired or feeling inspired or ready to be inspired. So try that I am inspired, I am inspired, I am inspired mantra for a second. My ambiguous creativity is easy. It is easy to be in alignment with my ambiguous creativity. It's easy to create whatever I desire. then what you can create is a lifestyle. Basically, all you can create is a lifestyle. You can create something. You can use that lifestyle to create static things like works of art, which are actually alive and they do change. So it's like if you're willing to acknowledge the aliveness of art and books and literature and whatever it is, it's like nothing that you really create is truly static. It's all has a life force to it. So you can create life forms. You can create ambiguous realities of creation where you have that atmosphere of creation, or maybe atmospheric is a different word than ambiguous. Maybe that's more congruent with you, or even vibrational. Like, are you creating a reality that has that high vibe flow to it? And maybe you're like, I don't really get vibe or atmosphere or ambiguity. Like, in fact, I've never even. Well, I'm sure you have felt inspiration. If you can feel the difference between inspiration and addiction in your body, then you know what I'm talking about. It's like, how do you feel about the morning sunlight and spinach and almonds versus how do you feel about like, you know, getting drunk, and cutting yourself or pulling your hair out. A little bit different vibe. Um Sorry, that was really intense. And if you still can't feel any energy on that, you're like, it's not. Maybe you're dead. Check if your pulse is beating because as a human, you're sensitive as a person, so you have sensitivities. So you can feel that feeling difference between inspiration. So what's in alignment with you, what really activates your soul and your spirit and your conscience, versus what's more like just something you're used to or familiar with that isn't inspiring, something that was like a survival or coping mechanism or a a lifestyle choice, for example, that wasn't serving your highest intentions, your greatest vision, your deepest goals. And it's like you don't have to change this. I'm just if you're into money, inspiration, performance, actions, that's what this is speaking to is, you know, how to do that, how to be aware of the difference and be able to choose more what's in alignment with you. I want to give you some ideas. So one thing is bulk creation. So setting a time to create a whole lot of things at once can be, or allowing a time can be a way to get a lot done, a lot created, even if it's just setting a time to create one thing. Setting that time for it is a beautiful way to create. Like if I'm going to write a book, all I know I need to do is get 2 or 3 friends together and be in a Zoom room and we're writing a book together, or each writing a book separately. But a co-creative space with multiple people always works for me. Or even live accountability, like coming on YouTube and be like, "Hey, we're gonna write a book together. You, me, and the internet." Um, it's like if I know people are engaged, it's easier for me. And even if I'm on my own, right? Like every sport is a social sport, whether it's art, whether it's music, whether it's tennis. So it's like competing in something or being part of a group gives me the inspiration to then go and work on my own. But I'm a really social creature. I love the teamwork of life, and a lot of my information is about relationships, and a lot of what I come to terms with whenever I practice anything is how does this influence people towards harmony. So for me, almost all my inspiration leads me back to like how do I create harmony here or in the world or about this topic, because for me it's like I'll yeah, creating is fun, but I don't create to create something good. I create to create harmony, and I'll do that through whatever harmony I can be, whatever. And I love like magic creation, co-creativity, and using those different energies to like bring things and people together to that harmony. So the harmony of moving things together, as the universe in unity with togetherness. Um, so for me, I'm always trying to bring people together with a common goal towards inspiration, towards what activates them as a person, what brings them in alignment with their mission. Um, Yeah, the commission, or also the commission God's giving them. If God's like on their heart saying, "Hey, I want you to do this thing," I want that to be active in you, and I want you to have, the self support within you to go on that mission. Um, so I like creating resources and tools and things like that for people, and communities and co-creative societies where people come together and train, practice, grow together. Um, really co-create, because at the end of the day, whether you're 1 day old or 99 years old, like, it's a creative world that you live in. And um, literally anything that you're good at the end of the day is to create something. Whether you're creating an atmosphere by cleaning your wonderful home or your apartment, or whether you're creating a society by playing games, sports, writing poetry, singing, you know, those are all creative things, and you'll be the creativity, the harmony, the joy that creates it, and that's when you'll be the most successful. Is when everything's lining up to make your inspired creativity really work out for you really well in a atmospheric, ambiguous, creative way. You're like, hey, everything's coming together, and I'm living my dream. It's like my dream reality. Your dream reality is a society. It's not isolation. Even if you love, 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 drinking your coffee in solitude in the morning and getting the mail. It's like the society involved in that is still like there are people, in the world who are picking the beans for those coffee and putting them into the mugs and sending it to you. Whether it's the coffee bean can that you have, or if you and if someone, a loved one of yours is making that coffee for you and bringing that to you, or if you're making it yourself, there's still a community. Like, there's the mailmen that bring you your mail, right? It's you're not alone. um Even if you live in the jungle, like, there's still the society of the plants and the grass and the earth. So it's like acknowledging the togetherness of that the world is with you, and that um we have this moving forward energy, this we're all in this together thing that we get to be a part of the destiny dance of. So you know even an existential, creative, ambiguous level, right? The beginning of your life, right? No matter who you are, you have it's creativity. That's your main function, your first thing. It's like whether you're crying, whether you're singing, whether you're talking, whether you're just rolling around, you're engaging in a creative sport called life. And um, you're going to get impulses and intuitions, and you can write down possibilities when they come to you or whatever, but you're going to be able to create all kinds of things and moods and atmospheres and vibrations with your being, with your choices. And so when you recognize that that's really what you're here for, and you identify with I am creativity, you identify as I came here to be the creativity, I am as Daniel Postma, then you can let go of your attachments to your addictions or whatever, or the fear-based reality, or the environment being your only source of creation, because you are a source of creation. And having that identity as in your communion with God, you know, um, and your communion with the universe, knowing that you're part of it, and you get to influence and make choices, then um, just select what you want to do. What do you want to do today? Who are you today? And what you want to do today? You're greater than you were yesterday. It's a new life. It's a new day, and you can't get it wrong. Um, and if you're not seeing that you have selections and choices and control over your life, you don't see that you are the control that creates your life, then you might get in a pattern of anxiety where you're like, I don't know what to choose. I don't know who I am. So getting clear on your identity as a creator or as a creative person, it's like, even if all you know how to do is draw and paint and sing, you're creative. Even if you don't think you're good at those things, even if you like, actually, I don't do that stuff. I've never done anything creative in my life. Hey, you have. Even that sentence is a part of your creativity. It's a part of your creativity of doubt. You could be the most doubtful person in the world, and that's still a creative endeavor. So good luck on that either way. It's like I'm not trying to convince you that you're creative. I'm just saying that that's what you are at your essence. And if it's light for you, if it's true for you, if it makes it easier, well, good. That's why I'm here. I'm trying to give you some ways to have a lighter morning, a lighter day, a lighter life where your inspiration fuels you. Your inspiration is your fuel for your adventure of living. And there's infinite things you can do today that will bring you more inspiration right away. And if you will allow them, it's like allow inspiration, then the world will shift very fast. Your world will shift really dramatically. You message them and say, hey, can we do this? Your intake is going to be a lot higher. There's going to be a lot more people who are uptaking. They're going to be a lot more forward momentum. Okay. So be willing, like a deeper inspiration towards a more bulk creation will help you to get in that habit of validating your successes instead of invalidating them and getting more momentum. Yeah. So sometimes more is less and sometimes less is more. And so in this case, more is more and less is less. Because when it comes to creativity, creating more can often be the thing that gets you past the hump. It's like probably your favorite artists and musicians and songwriters have written 3,000 plus songs, right? You maybe know 6 of them. And so um, when you doom the more, right, then the more occurs. And and maybe you've seen them in one concert, but maybe they've applied to be in 10,000 concerts. And if you applied to be in 10,000 concerts, I bet you're going to get in at least 6, right? You can always create your own too. The freedoms are opening up more. You can do Facebook Lives, YouTube Lives. There's always new endless possibilities to be a solo show. But if you want more people to see you, you can network. You can reach out to more blogs, podcasts, networks, and ask, can I be on your podcast? Or, hey, can I sing on your show? If it's a TV program, if it's a radio station, if it's anything, if you'll reach out, you can also hire like agents. Like, what if you got 50 agents promoting your music? People who are really good at this, calling people up and getting you networking events. What if you even had one agent? But don't limit yourself. What if you're a life with abundance of possibilities? If music is something you really want to do, go for it. If God's putting in your heart, hey, you're a musician, this Daniel guy's telling you can do it, this is your way forward. Right now, maybe. Right now, I'm going to get 50 agents and then call 50 different agents for music and say, hey, I have this music, I'm working on it. I'll be show ready in 3 months or so. I'm just right in the beginning stages, but this is my genre. I'm writing kind of like this person. I'm inspired by this person. I've got here this 35 seconds of me singing, kind of the quality I'm at now, but I'm really, branching out, expanding there. Even if you're at the beginning stages, like you can start getting people to promote you and ask for your journey. And, practice, maybe go from having one 30-minute practice session a day with your piano or your singing or your microphone or whatever to going to like, what if you did 6 practice sessions a day? What if you became a teacher? What if you really honed in on like taking some time to practice and then you took 35 minutes to analyze your practicing? So not just practicing music, but what if you were analyzing your practicing of that music? For example, Bashir here is a musician. He's from Brussels and he loves music. But there's just so many ways to involve music in the creation of your life. So if that's something you're into, you totally can. Hi, Bashir. How are you? I don't mean to put you on the spot here. I kind of went live on YouTube. You're muted, but you know what? Let me end the YouTube live just so that we can just have a fresh conversation. I'll stop the stream.